Hey, my name is Josh Jackson.
And you're the director of
Yes, I'm the
Ultrakids.
director of Ultrakids, and this is Brian Tang, the
cinematographer slash editor. Well,
So tell
we
Co-
both had our share of editing.
yeah. Well, you did the first edit. I did
Well, it began back in
the second
2004,
co-edit.
when the United
So
States
I think I put
government
myself down as like co-editor.
to respond
cool.
to
So
the
we're-
of superpowered individuals.
We're here to talk about the movie and just to give you guys
Well,
a little bit of
problems like
a
the Ultrakids have
behind-the-scenes
in place,
insight
so,
about what went on to the making of this.
move beyond that.
So yeah,
There was an entirely different alternate beginning to this entire film.
we shot the first day of Hero Camp, which is the movie camp that we shot this movie.
Well, it's past closing time.
Yeah, but
I think we first shot it. I shot it
Yeah.
initially, and Josh wasn't there when I shot it.
Yeah.
So I guess it didn't really come through as what he wanted it
That
to
you
be.
have superpowers.
yeah, I mean, like, I guess my whole idea was that it needs to be a little bit of spectacular, and
Start off with bang.
yeah, start with it being pretty much.
Yeah, someone did commentate on the, the first edit of
Yeah.
the scene. It was like,
And I was my feelings
slow.
were
Can't
kind of
really
hurt,
start
yeah.
off with a bang there.
yeah. I was actually thinking of taking this scene out in like the in the final cut because for the YouTube version, not for the premiere version, but because I was like, we should just get right to the main character. But I did feel like this is a superhero movie, and we need to deliver like the promise of the premise, so to speak, and you show a little bit of superhero action. Because if we don't show this, there's not really a lot of action until like 6 minutes into the movie, which is like pretty long for a half an hour short film. So,
Cool.
Awesome.
yeah.
We shot this with Matt Chung's L lens.
So, I heard you guys have like 52.
That's Matt Chung right there.
All across
He guys
America.
borrowed his
Is that
lens.
correct?
53 actually. We have just opened.
So we actually shot Aaron and Matt separately. They were never together in the same room, and we shot on different days. And actually, we'll talk about this shot real quick.
Yes, that is actually just about
There's only
three
people.
or four people.
It's me, Matt Chung, my sister, and my little brother. And we ran across the camera
Looped and
several times,
repeated
so
and masked.
that was
Looks like a lot more people than it really is.
it turned out to be like 12 people in the tunnel shot, but then so this is Daniel Rollo, our main character. And for those of you who don't know, this movie was made entirely at a week-long camp. Well, we had a couple of reshoots afterwards, but a majority of it was filmed at the week-long camp. And this Daniel Rollo was the only kid that signed up for this camp that I did not know personally before starting the camp. So when I was filming with him, this was actually the first time meeting him as well. And I had been told that he was a good actor, but
He didn't realize it was going to be that good.
I didn't realize he was going to be this, like with it's coming up when he says his first line. I think it's give that kid back his money. And when he said that line, I believed him. And as soon as he said it, I was like, this is going to be a good movie.
Made Josh fall in love with it.
Well, that sounds a little.
Alright,
Yeah,
cool.
okay. And here's some nice edits by Brian Tang. I did not originally envision it like that, but it turned out a lot. But I really liked how you did that,
Give that
Brian.
kid back his money.
Thank
You
you.
don't want to mess with us. Beat it.
Okay, so we have a lot of inside jokes about Mr. Michael Wegner right over there, who's looking mysteriously with those glowing eyes right now.
Really cool. That's cool.
You guys are both superhumans.
What's your superpower?
Enhanced hearing.
Just a tad.
It was a little less than. I mean, like,
Power ever.
all the kids. I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, the kids gave a good. All the kids gave a good performance to the best of their ability.
What are the chances of somebody having cancer?
Cut back.
I really like how
I've observed
this was cut together because, it really feels like they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
Even though there's no shot where they're both in the same shot.
We did shoot something where I was planning to composite them
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
but it just didn't turn out.
I do. I do both.
First freeze effect. There we go.
How to kick that shit.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm Cody, by the way. My name's Kellen. You really
When I
think
edited this
I
scene,
might have been a superhero group? Not yet. Well,
I was trying to go for the best performance possible of all the takes that Josh had filmed that day. I wasn't there, so it was kind of a new experience for me to film, footage that I had not shot.
Mhm.
And almost all the audio clips were different clips from the actual footage.
True.
Just to get that best possible performance from these kids. You know, you can't really ask too much for kids to give you an Oscar-winning performance, but, well, you know, Daniel Rollo, on the other hand.
So
and I'm really happy you used Faith's house because it looks so lived in. It looks so, you know, natural.
Yes. It was really
This
good.
room looks like every little boy's room.
So this is a sequence Brian cut together. He cut together most of the movie, and then I reboard into my computer to do visual effects where I recut it. And for most of the sequences, I copied him frame for frame, so it still holds true to his edit.
Hey, Mom.
And that's the voice of Sandy Wang. She did a great job as the mom.
Yep.
It was funny. She stopped by our house. I can't remember why. And then I went up to her and says, "Hey, can you do an audio voiceover really quickly?" She said, "Sure." I was like, "Thanks." And I filmed her. I recorded her lines. I filmed like 5 minutes, and that was awesome.
Okay, so when I was editing this scene,
Yes.
I had a lot of issues because
I
Josh had not filmed enough coverage of the entire scene in
Yes.
order for it to look like a normal, you know,
Yes.
well put together, cohesive
Oh, thank
sequence.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
I worked around it,
Actually,
and in the end, we had a decent scene that was cut together, but there was some shots that Josh didn't like in the terms of the performance.
Yeah.
He just cut the whole line out,
Oh.
and I didn't notice it until I saw it in the
One of
premiere.
the cuts are coming out. It's
I'm sure the Ultrakids
this
are
one.
nice.
I actually use an outtake to cover for.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're already past it. Oh, shoot.
See you tomorrow, man.
Yeah, this was the last scene actually that I edited of the movie right before the premiere, and because I was displeased.
Good thing you did.
Yeah, I was displeased with the way both of our edits were coming, and so I threw together another edit real quick, and that was.
I think this is the first of my Steadicam shots.
Hi, and you must be.
And that's Faith Liu giving an amazing performance as Miranda. We don't mention her name, but in the script her name is Miranda.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the
And originally I just called her tour guide, but then her character became pretty prominent.
All right,
in the
so
movie, so.
you got to realize about this building. It's actually a church, if you
Yes.
can't tell, because there's no, obvious outstanding things on the walls that like a cross or
Yes.
or anything that signifies that it's a
This is
church.
the meeting hall. All members will gather here every morning, 9 o'clock sharp.
This place is huge.
It is impressive, isn't it? So next we'll be going to the training facilities where you'll be looking at some of the. Oh,
What are you guys doing here?
We live here. What's it look like?
And this was also one of Brian's ideas for the cut to do the little. what's that called when it goes through like that little
It's like a record scratch.
record? Yeah, the record scratch.
you two know each other. How nice.
Yeah.
Faith, she reminds me of the person from the
All
from the
right,
Hunger
we'll
Games,
see you
the
guys
Ellie Chicken,
Anyhow, as I was
the girl with the
saying,
lady with a
Oh,
lot of makeup.
okay, yeah.
Actually, I won't be able to show them to you.
I was so happy about this shot.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And I was also the sound too.
It goes through,
So,
and then once you're done focusing on him, it ends with her talking to him right there.
That's
Oh yeah, I have to use the bathroom.
oh, of course.
So we did have a shot of him running past the bathroom to kind of show that he's not going to the bathroom, but that actually took place. Since this is all one building, the Super Kids headquarters and the Ultra Kids headquarters are both one building. So we had like certain areas marked
Yeah.
off as Super Kid territory and Ultra Kid territory. We were trying to, that was a little like tough, trying to make sure we didn't film accidentally in each other's territory during.
And the issue is, they look so similar.
Sure, yeah.
And it
We were,
says that
we were gonna go for some sort of like color stylistic difference in the color correction between the two buildings, but you know,
Ultimately, actually, this hallway and the main auditorium, these two areas, they're the only, I think, and the main lobby are the only two areas, Super Kid territory. Everything else is. And this is the Monmouth Worship Center. I was just really thankful that they allowed us to run around the building. Yeah, and they were just great.
okay. Now, where are they in this basement-looking place?
They are in my uncle's house, and we needed a basement really quick. Originally, actually, I think I was going to do green screen and have, but that would have turned out terrible.
Yes,
And,
that door does not lead to this room
Yes, why?
whatsoever.
Why is there a basement in the upper room? But Aaron, we filmed this part with Aaron and PJ after the camp was over, and Aaron just did a great job. And with that, yeah, really liked how it came out. And PJ was actually really good. He was a last-minute casting decision because we had no one to play the
I love how you can see his little head right there. You can tell where he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I got lost. Sorry.
The bathrooms are down the hall and to the right.
Actually, can we go to our rooms now? I'd like to.
Okay, there's a shot that's coming up.
Certainly.
Her facial expression, it changes perfectly right there.
That
was absolutely perfect.
That was what Faith before we actually started shooting. Faith was talking to me about her character, and she said, "Yeah, I would like to kind of give my character like an edge. Like in front of the children, she's always smiling, but when as soon as the children leave, she immediately goes into this other like almost.
Now
awesome
this shot,
yeah.
I wanted to do a 360 entirely one shot,
Yeah.
but I had an issue with the audio.
Yeah,
you could
the
hear
audio
my
was really-
footsteps.
So we're just have to do it fast.
Yeah.
You can't take out my footsteps
It
because
was
that's
tough.
underneath all their talking.
It'll be a quick
So
I should have redubbed them when we did reshoots.
Yeah.
But 'cause that scene is actually the audio where I was most displeased with. And then we shot this scene. If you can notice the changing quality with Brian's. What lens did you use?
I bought a lens and I was so excited to use it.
I mean,
I used it here.
so if you notice the scene,
difference.
the comparison between Faith and that scene and the Faith in the scene before, you can notice the difference in quality. So that was fun.
Alright, so here comes the first action scene.
Yes, technically the second since we had that.
Okay. Well.
So Brian filmed with the kids, and I was filming with
Yes.
Brandon and,
and when you cut back and forth, you can tell.
Yeah. Look, smooth, steady cam
Smooth,
shot,
steady
and shaky
Hunger
Games.
Smooth.
Oh my goodness. Smooth.
And Hunger Games.
Well, this is pretty smooth. I pride myself on that.
Okay, there we go. We've bridged the gap right there.
So I did get some comments that they fell before the laser hit them. Which was,
Yeah, well, they were in slow motion. You really couldn't do much about that.
try to just.
Daniel Rollo really went at everything he did.
He was so good. Like he really threw himself into the performance, like literally into
Yes.
the shot. Into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
shots.
yeah.
And at the premiere, people
I was
liked this
so
part.
happy about this, the way I finally cut this together.
Yeah. And then I recut it.
Well,
Well, actually, right here, this part right here, this little fancy edit, that was Brian's. And then I copied it and made a couple of little adjustments. But most of it is Brian's, pretty much. Yeah. So this was the first scene I started doing, testing out my new technique of color correction. I love color correction.
yes, I have an
And
issue with
we're-
this color correction
yes.
sometimes.
But this was, I was trying a new technique where I enhance the skin. So if you look at the actual footage, the skin and the background, they're very much similar. But I mean, you really have to see the original footage, but it's...
The walls are practically skin color.
Yeah, that made it tough. But the skin is... Every shot of this movie, pretty, like, I'd say 90% of the shots of this movie, the skin is enhanced for these shots. And just giving it a little bit more orange, a little bit more saturation, which I kind of like that book.
Yeah, originally, I think that was from a comment that I made, how, like, your original color correction idea was that you're gonna put a tint to the whole footage.
Yeah.
And that would include the skin colors.
That
But
would-
I
that
feel
would
like
mess it up.
to make it natural, even with extreme color correction, you need to save the skin
Yeah,
tones.
definitely.
Otherwise, it's just not realistic.
A lot of political and social influence that pretty much allows them to do anything.
Great, so that's Michaela and Sam.
The script is actually on their computer right now. They're reading it off of the computer.
And that's okay. So you just saw the recorder that we used, holding the key, and we used.
Yeah,
the
no
recorder.
one knows what that is.
We used the recorder as a prop like 3 different times. It's
Yeah.
gonna come up again.
It's gonna come up as
Yeah.
a bomb detonator and a key holder. Yeah,
Yes, we used it.
pretty
I'm
ridiculous.
pretty sure
And what is that key actually,
it
Josh?
is the inside of a USB flash drive thing. So I have
Okay,
But we
this-
use power. The entire
You're gonna see this kind of shot from me a lot. I kind of developed this technique where I take my tripod, set it up on two legs, and push forward as if it was some sort of dolly or camera crane.
Right,
It's
right.
a really, really useful technique if you don't have the right equipment with you.
Yes, and he
And
did.
it- and it
He
really
used that
does.
technique about 500 times. every other shot is one of those. So yeah, that kind of reminds me of Avatar, the last Airbender.
You probably would have made it better.
Yes.
Avatar Last Airbender.
I would have made it better. We would have made it better.
Yes,
We-
yes.
We're going to make it better. Avatar Last
We all know that the Super Kids
Airbender.
will be here on Friday.
And that's my uncle, Pastor Derek. He reprises his role as the director from Ultrakids 4. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of like voodoo to mention the other Ultrakids movies in terms of the quality of this movie. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
just-
okay, so this scene, I'm actually a big fan of like one-shot scenes, and I felt like this was definitely an appropriate area because you had so much action just a second ago, and you just need to slow down.
I mean, I like one-shot scenes too. I'm just not good at doing that, which I'm glad Brian was on board. Actually, well, I shot this, which is mostly
Oh,
which,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
2 takes, which and
I know he dragged me into
I
this.
think yeah.
Wasn't this ad-libbed by the kids?
Yes, they ad-libbed the scene. I gave them the
really
the general
impressive
idea. Yes, they
for-
did a
for
great
kids to
job.
do this.
That's Jessica Abbott and Christian, and they just did an amazing job. I was like, when I watch this movie, I don't see Daniel Rollo, Jessica,
Here
and
we go. Here we go.
Chris. Yeah,
Best accident right there. Right there. Unplanned.
I'm
Perfect.
right there. Yeah, as I was saying, I see the characters. I see Kellen, Sasha, and Gears.
They really studied their character.
I was
You gave
so
them
impressed.
bios.
I gave them bios,
and they did exactly.
I wrote on Christian's bio for Gears that he rubs his chin while thinking, and you can see several times during the movie he's rubbing his chin while thinking, and I did not tell him to do that. So. Despite looking very flashy, these effects are actually some of the easier effects to do.
Okay. This is. I'm so proud of this shot. I can't even start with this. I'm so happy I got this shot.
When you show
the
me
coordination, this only took 2 takes, but I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is the best shot I've gotten in so long.
When you showed me this footage, I was stunned at this shot. And originally, actually, while cutting this sequence together, I was like, maybe I actually contemplated cutting it in half, man. I'm really glad that I would have. And if you notice right there, my name on the where the exit sign should have been. I was getting these are some of the last visual effects shots I did for the movie, and I was getting so tired of it, and I just had to have some fun. And here's another great shot using the trailer. So originally, you cut this scene to a little bit more serious, dramatic music.
I had more serious
And
music.
yeah, even after you showed me that scene, I was like, I'm not convinced that Kellen is having a good time at the Ultrakids. But I was like, so you can still be back. And you can see the Hero Camp equipment gear in the background.
You can't be serious about
Yeah, that's another beautiful 360 shot.
It's actually about
There was actually Faith and PJ running behind me.
Super kids are an opportunity of a
The
lifetime.
whole time
They
just
came
not to
back
get in
from
the
this
shot.
tiny little place.
So we were filming all this on Wednesday, and we actually got done early. So we said, "Oh, we're done early. We might as well film this extra scene."
I think we got done early that day, but the next day, I think
it was a
we
good
were,
It was a good thing we shot the scene the day
We
before.
were packed
because
and we ended late. It was
Yeah.
like the total opposite of the day before.
the last 2 days we ended late. The first 3 days were
Thank goodness we got some extra scenes done on that
Yes.
extra day.
Or else that would have been bad.
Okay.
Here's the infamous bomb sequence, which cut together by Brian Tang. I did like some very small edits, but
Yeah.
mostly after I watched the scene, I was enthralled. I was like, Brian, that was amazing. That was amazing. He matched up the music matched perfectly.
Emily, what are you doing here? What are you?
I actually really like the color here, and I really like the way I shot the scene because I shot it.
Get back to the super.
I like how she's looking right into the cameras.
Forget about Kellen. He's chosen his side.
Okay, so Brian's here shooting with every shot with Kellen. That's your shot,
yeah.
and I'm shooting with the other kids. I'm shooting with Jessica,
Just stay here. I'll
and
go get Kellen and Anthony.
Lovely explosion by
Yes.
Josh.
that was the first visual effects shot I worked on because originally we were planning on putting it in the trailer.
Yeah. Okay, this is another coordinated long take that I really wanted to get. Now there's a cut coming up, but you don't see it. And cut.
Right there.
That was actually 2 shots.
Amazing.
Because it would be really hard to coordinate.
And for those of you who don't know, that is actually Faith Liu as the alarm. Actually, in the final cut, I did mix it. I did mix in an actual alarm.
Yes,
Just
the sound of the alarm.
Yeah.
I don't know why I told her to do this because it came to bite us in the back.
Yeah, it was
With
tough
the audio.
editing. Yeah, it was tough editing.
But
around that.
you know, she's a singer and she can.
And
there's the bomb detonator, aka the sound recorder.
Yes, exactly.
Also, the recorder that we're using to record this commentary.
So most of the shots with Malcolm Hills, aka Armin Pomerantz, we shot after the camp was over.
Yeah,
If he's by himself, it was after the camp.
he doesn't exactly live nearby, so
Yes.
you know.
And he just did a great job. I was like,
Yeah.
I remember after meeting him, that was when I truly started getting passionate about the project because he had this great idea for the villain.
Yeah, he went deep into the character.
Yeah.
He was like character development all over the place. And
I was
it really
like,
cool.
yeah. And
There we go.
this is the changing point for
He's the
Sasha,
enemy, Sasha.
realizing,
You just shot that kid in the chest.
ooh, that her friend is evil. No!
Learn whose side you're on.
Burn.
Great one shot again.
Yes. Initially, I think you were going to cut closer to them, but I felt like the distance, makes it feel appropriate.
What's going on? The Spriggans are gonna blow up this place.
And that bomb was created by my dad the night before. I was like,
What is
Dad,
it, like a shoebox?
It's a shoebox.
It's a shoebox and
It's a
what?
It's a thermometer.
Air conditioner?
Yeah, or so some sort of air con. Yeah.
It was still working. I could tell like the temperature and everything.
And explosion! Yay! That was a fun shot too.
Yes.
And look at that makeup. Look at that makeup.
We're gonna get you out of here.
Makeup done by Danielle Leung, who did an amazing job. Doing every time you see someone's face bruise, that was her. Look at that bomb. I mean, I don't know. We just
It was so convincing too.
Yeah, it's great. My dad. That's why I listed him as like prop design at the end of the credits. So it's like,
What are you doing? I love that line. I just can't get it out of my head.
Brian took a frame from that.
I made a
still,
meme out of
and
it.
he just put it on like it was funny. I like how Chris like in the shot before Chris was like leaning against the wall, really scared.
Yeah.
I love how he pays attention
Here
to
we
the
go.
detail, the detail of his character.
Bad cam shot. Okay, here comes the visual effects. 8 hours of visual effects work from Josh.
Yes. Actually, no. Was it 8 hours? It was a long time. It was like.
8 hours. Yeah, there we go.
We blew up Mama Worship Center.
He sent me a text and
Yes.
that's all he said. He didn't say any context. I was like, wait, what? What? Okay.
So this is Rebecca Chung, one of the worship leaders, the wife of Matt Chung, who was the interviewer at the beginning of the movie. And
This is the last thing that we got.
The
from
le- yeah, the
Ultrakids.
very last thing we got.
footage.
Yeah,
This was like 2 or 3 months after we shot the initial
that was pretty
film.
crazy. And so the 2 hands on the right are me, 2 hands on the left are Faith.
I'm the cameraman and I'm holding a mic too, and it's backwards.
Yeah, just to get some variety. That was great. I like so that was pretty convincing actually. I really like that.
Alright, so
So,
You have signal? Yeah. I've been trying to contact the other Ultrakids.
yeah.
This is Malcolm Hills, stole the key.
This was
Online.
we filmed
Okay.
this before that.
yeah, there's a thing about the how the Ultrakids communication is down and everything, but some people spotted that and were like, yo, there's something wrong with that
Because
because the coming scene, Kellen goes on the phone
and
and
like, hey, he's on the
perfect
phone.
connection.
Are you part of the Ultrakids?
But these 3 scenes actually, I feel
Okay.
like they're the most important.
I was having fun with my new lens on this one.
And that's why actually think these shots of Kellen on the phone are, I would say they're up there. I'm not sure if they're the most beautiful shots of the movie, but they are definitely up there.
I felt like
I love these shots.
I really wanted to use my lens for this scene,
it's very
particularly because the shallow depth of field separates him from the background.
Yeah,
It makes him look like he's alone.
yeah. It's very personal and intimate. Yeah.
Claustrophobic
For very
feel too.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's my cell phone right there. I got my cell phone in the movie, yay! So Faith spoke as the mom, when
Just to give him some
Yeah.
cues as to when to react.
yeah, and then Sandy Wayne took over.
Hey,
That's
listen, I got
marvelous.
your last message, and I just wanted to say that I'm proud of you. I mean, even if you don't join the Super Kids, I'm glad that you're
emotional
standing up
music.
for what you
Emotional
believe
music,
in,
yes.
This
okay?
soundtrack that we
Don't let
used,
anyone tell you
it's
otherwise.
from Steam Boy.
Yes.
It's a Japanese anime movie. It's
Ellen?
a good movie.
I'm right
It's
here.
got some great music. But the thing about the music is, you could literally put this into any movie,
Yes,
and
yes.
it feels appropriate.
So what are we
Hence
gonna
why
do?
we used it.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
I love this scene.
We're gonna break into the Super Kids headquarters and take back the key.
And so we got this inside joke.
Can't let Malcolm.
Okay,
Between-
there's a coming shot right here.
Right here.
Right here. This interaction here, you know, the actors don't know it, but
They might be listening to this commentary actually.
no.
But actually, that's that shot which
We
says,
like
I
to
know.
call it the romantic tension.
I watched Brian edited that scene, and I was like, I watched it. I was like, I feel like there's romantic tension between Kellen and Sasha.
Yeah, I extended the shot a little bit longer when they looked at each other. I was like, yo, this has to be a plot
Yeah.
point.
And stock footage from the internet. I kind of like it. It fits. Climax. Yes.
Yes, here we go.
I love it.
There's such a similar shot to when they first entered
Yes.
the Super Kids headquarters.
Parallelism right there.
Yeah.
So there were more visual effect shots in the climax than the rest of the entire movie. It was crazy. I had 1 page of the visual effect shots for the entire movie and 2 pages of the visual effect shots for the climax. So very crazy. Even this morning, I took out your reflection actually in that
Oh,
shot.
nice.
So it's,
Nice.
and
I was really happy about the design that you came
yeah.
out with
I
this-
was like, I had fun
of
with
the-
that.
the
That was
screens,
a
the
lot of
holographic
fun.
screens.
Kids survived.
It actually took a while to render, actually, because I created them in like a super high resolution.
Let's find out.
Yes, yep. And there's so this footage with Faith and Aaron we shot afterwards, and then integrated it into the climax we got shot.
Okay, here we go.
And here we go, my super shaky Hunger Games cinematography. Yes, I could have used it like that. Love that.
Go closer than you think.
The music cue is just perfect.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, yo,
Right here.
for this goes to show like the Steam Boy soundtrack is
Yes.
perfect for any movie. This shot,
You were super proud of, and still are super proud of. I'm just incredibly happy to have in the movie. That's Richard, by the way. He hit the guy on the floor. He was I bumped into him on like the second to last.
he actually
day of
goes
camp.
to this church.
He actually goes to the church, and I said, "Hey, I need some guards. Would you like to be an extra?" He's from my computer animation class. At,
Pure
Brooklyn,
coincidence.
And he just bumped in, and he said, "Yeah, I'm down." And he came on the last day, and he was one of the guards, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun having him on set. Yes.
Make connections on the various days.
Guards aren't responding.
Then deploy the super kids.
We don't have enough.
Oh, Chloe shot this
Yeah.
initially before I reshot it, and I don't know.
Those are very different. And here's one of the, I think, one of our personal favorites.
Go.
I remember watching. You cut this scene. I was like, "This is good. This is good."
Okay, this is another one of my tripod trick shots.
Yes.
Moving
He's
forward.
already used it like about 300 times in the movie, and he just abused that shot.
Yeah, but it just works.
And we came up with this idea on set for them to fire and the
this
bullets to hit each
entire
other.
fight was made up on the fly.
completely improvised.
You were afraid that it was going to be too short,
Yeah.
so I decided I'm going to cut to the other fight that's happening
Yes.
simultaneously to just give the illusion that it's happening.
Because originally
much
the
longer.
script, I had that entire fight finished, and then this scene happened. Which in the long run, I have no idea why it was. And lasers reveal that Malcolm Hughes actually has a power. He's actually the first Ultrakid villain to actually have a power.
Oh yeah,
Yes, yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yes. And this 2-second shot, if you don't realize it, but it is really literally 2 seconds of her doing electricity, took an entire day to do. And
That punch. Okay, those two kids, Tim and
Daniel.
they were going at it. I thought they were gonna kill each other.
Yeah.
I was filming it. I was like, "Yo, go easy. You're gonna." That punch was so convincing.
Yes, it
I
was.
thought he punched him.
it was Tim did that perfectly, and Daniel reacted. Here are some. These shots of Malcolm Hills attacking the Ultrakids are some of my favorite visual effect shots. I think they're just It was a lot of work, but it was a good one.
Everybody fall back!
And Samsung shots. And they're at it again. Electricity. I was so sick of doing electricity shots at the end of this movie. Yeah. I didn't even think I put enough electricity.
Coming up, watch this.
Yes.
He saves who's attacking, you know, his romantic tension mate, and
Romantic tension, mate.
and she saves who's attacking
Yeah,
him.
yeah. We had already watched the cut, and we knew there was romantic tension. So
And
Brian,
Josh wasn't even there when I filmed this.
Yes.
I put this in there.
he threw it in because he said, "Let's."
The actors have no idea.
Yeah, they're gonna watch this and be like, that's what they were laughing about. Actually, you know, it's interesting that I'm not sure if the audience got that.
This
And this is completely
that was the
improv.
funniest thing in the movie.
that scene right there was completely improv.
by mistake.
By mistake.
Okay, so there's a reason why you cut awkwardly to this shot. Because
it's not that awkward. It's not
it's a little awkward.
because
in
you
my
would see a
opinion.
piano and you would see
My shadow.
Brian's shadow.
My shadow when I was holding the camera.
What are you guys doing?
And this is actually my favorite scene
Did you
of the movie.
register here last week?
The dialogue. This was actually the first dialogue I wrote for the
This
script.
was such a problematic
The Ultrakids
scene to
are
film
dead.
because my battery
They don't
ran out,
exist.
Yes.
and I had to jump to a different camera,
Yes.
and we had to color correct it to make it look
It
the
was
same.
crazy.
They're not dead. We'll never be.
I mean, it looks good now, but I looked at the footage, Brian's footage was all blue. We switched to Austin's camera, and there was no blue. It was like gray, and it was like crazy. We had to.
That's just
Oh, this is my crazy camera work with the tripod trick. I was actually really surprised how flexible this trick can really, do for you.
thought like you do when it got.
And this was the last day of the camp, and we were rushing, and I'm just so glad.
Yeah, you were stressed.
I'm just so glad this scene came out as good as it did because it was like okay. That's my
Look at that lighting.
That's my favorite shot of the movie right there. That's my favorite shot.
I mean, who has like Tetris-looking windows that go and open up light to that?
Lasers. One of my siblings was commenting, these kids get shot a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
They're always stunned.
Yeah, always
Never shot.
well, you can't have them die. You can't have kids
Yeah,
die
yeah.
in a movie. And yeah, so here's Brittany again, leading up to. Yeah, I think people were.
You actually don't hear the audio that was actually there. Everyone was
They are-
laughing.
they are-
Everyone was laughing.
They're dying.
It took so long to get this shot. You have no idea.
And so much stress. And this is for some of the reshoots we did afterwards with Brittany, and I really like that shot.
Let them know the key's been destroyed.
I told you.
What you don't see is that there's a cross right above her.
Yeah.
This is in New York. Totally different location. Totally different area.
Cameos by the actors from the previous Ultrakids movies.
Yes.
Yes. Timmy was like watching this. He's like, man, I got a boss.
Yeah, he didn't even know the story to the
He
whole
had no
movie.
idea what the movie was about,
And
I
you're
just
like, oh, I'm putting you in cameo.
which is why he mispronounced Malcolm Hill's name.
I thought that was kind of funny, though.
Yes, so that's Lauren and Tiffany who play Invisigirl and Heather respectively. And I'm just glad that they were able to cameo in this movie. Timmy and Lauren are the only two actors to be in all 6 Ultrakid movies.
No, this church that you just saw, that was where the original Ultra Kids
Yes.
were filmed.
Yes,
That's not one shot.
they are actually.
They were
They were never in the same room.
Yes.
Aaron and the 3 kids were never in the same room. They were, and that shot was composited together to make it look like they were in the same room.
You see where this got you?
But yeah, I really like this scene. And originally, my original idea for the movie was to have the scene end with them on the Ultrakid side. They're all victorious. They won the battle, and that's pretty much the end. But then I think sometime around the scene, sometime around writing the script, I figured, wait a second, they need to be captured. There needs to be a consequence for their decision to join the Ultrakids. Because I feel like in real life, not that superheroes are real life, but in real life, when you make the right decision, it's not the consequences
Yeah,
are
it's
not
not
always
always-
good. Yeah.
What I'm trying
And I felt like the fact that they could bear these consequences and still hold on was like a lot better of an ending in my opinion.
This was cut so well together. It just feels like they're in the same room. He's looking at no one right now.
Yes. He's looking at me crouching down with my little camera, and Danielle doing makeup again on the kid's face, and she just did a great job. And this is like the stare of defiance. I told Daniel, Look at him. Don't give in. That's why I named the scene, actually. Like, I named it Never Give In.
Yeah.
It's like, I love it. And so I threw in the audio, like
Leave them here
literally
until
like an
they're
hour
friends.
before the premiere was happening. And I mean, not an hour, but an hour before I started rendering. And I was like, I was so glad because the music made such a difference.
Yes.
And I was so glad it worked out. I was like, oh my goodness. I was so worried. Because I knew this,
Again, the Steamboy soundtrack.
I knew this audio needed good move.
And here I come. This is the first thing we filmed,
Yes,
actually. This
yes.
is the last scene, but it's the first thing we
This
filmed.
scene was filmed before the script was written. All I knew was that the kids were going to be captured at the end, and we filmed the scene before the script was even written. And because I knew I wanted to cameo my brother, who was going to Taiwan for 6 weeks. And so we filmed him real quick,
Well then, we better.
and it was a great...
It ended up that we didn't finish the movie even after he came
Yes.
back.
So there you go.
Stay after the credits for an extra scene.
Yes, extra scene, and yeah. So at the premiere, I actually didn't have time to make the credits for the premiere. If you get a little behind the scenes, the fact is that I stayed up 48 hours straight to finish the movie in time for the premiere.
I was there for
like
a few hours
12,
of
like
it.
12 hours of it, and it was complete hell. I was just like, And so I didn't get the credits finished in time, so I threw them in for the YouTube version.
Yeah, you were practically debating to like, oh, I'm not showing it tomorrow. I'm not showing it.
If you had asked me 12 hours before the premiere if I was going to show it, I would say no, there's no way. Yeah, but
You should also talk about how there's so many incidences where, like, for example, your computer crashed.
yes, my computer crashed during the middle of production.
And it was like a few hours before that he backed everything up for the first
By
time.
the grace of God, it was I
Yeah.
backed everything because you had the footage, a lot of the footage on your computer, but I was the only one who had the ending footage, the
Yes.
footage of the last few scenes that you just saw. So if my computer had crashed and all the footage, everything had to be erased on my computer, you would have not seen those last few scenes. So that was. And I really like these credits actually. These are like my favorite credits I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
because I really like the. Originally, I was going to do like a voice of the year of the holographic screens and have that as the background, but I was like, simpler the better. And so yeah, credit to Austin Ang for lending us his
Lending
camera.
Josh
Yeah,
his
my-
camera.
and giving me some tools I needed.
There we go.
And so this was actually an outtake that we, well, not an outtake, just a take of Daniel, and I used it, and I shot this scene for my brother using my
Old camera.
my old camera. And
Oh, so
yeah,
he took his camera back.
so
All right,
that's
cool.
it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Not really. Well, when Ultrakids 7 comes out, and you set me up
Yes.
so that I had to be a major character in that movie.
We'll bring
And
you
you
back
called
from-
me Moses for the credits. What is
Oh
that?
my goodness, I love this.